I think that means we're recording. Thank you very much for the opportunity to interview for the Siebert Elementary principal position. My name is Jennifer Thrush. A little bit about myself, my beautiful family there in the middle, three grown-up daughters, so it's kind of amazing to be on this side of parenthood. I believe in pushing myself to growing more and more, especially on the back end of the last part or the second half of my life, I guess, should I say. Health and wellness has been a focus area of mine for a little while now. And the girls and I, even Mr. Thrush, will get into. We just want to live well, and I want to lead well as well. Believe in cultivating an attitude of gratitude. We do a lot of nature hiking and camping and sightseeing and that kind of stuff. And I like to journal and reflect. Professionally, a little bit about myself. I have a master's through Marygrove College in the art of teaching. I have my bachelor's degree through Central with an emphasis on math and ELA. I have my ed specialist and my doctoral in educational leadership also through CMU. I'm a non-traditional student. From high school, I went to get an associate's degree and then had my first daughter and opened up a child care and did that for 4 years, and that really created my passion for education. And I ended up getting my teaching degree, teaching for 15 years in grades 1st through 8th, and this will mark my 10th year as an administrator. I have been an administrator for 6 years at the elementary level and 4 years now at the middle level. Education is one of those things with such an old archaic system, and we are trying to find new ways outside of box thinking and actually inside the box different thinking as well. My dissertation was on the balanced calendar. I believe that systems thinking is something that drives us, and we need that growth mindset for ourselves, but also to instill that into our students and to always focus on student learning, keeping that at the core and in developing that whole child. I believe I'm the ideal candidate because I have your minimum and your desired qualifications that you're looking for. Some of that experience, like as a building leader, it's important to look, listen, and learn to build relational trust, build capacity, and then all the logistics of finance management, building management, school improvement processes and things like that. Relationship building, that's really the key foundational piece, cultivating positive relationships with members of the school community for a smooth transition. It's those meet and greets, it's being visible, it's holding people's questions with care so that they feel valued. Class visits, I, as an elementary principal, was able to get to every classroom pretty much every day, and I could pride myself on that. At the middle level, I am failing forward on that. I can be in every classroom every week, but I have a really tough time with the behavior and the things going on at the middle school level in order to make it to each class. And then communication on all levels is super important. Instructional leadership and student support systems. Again, the whole child. What are our targets that we're looking for? I have the Gelm Literacy Essentials mark there. I really think that's a component that has really shifted some thinking and helps us to work smarter, not harder, right? It's all research-based strategies that are proven. to be able to look under that magnifying glass, to hone in on the things that we're doing and the data that we see, to celebrate those small wins, and to always stay solution focused. Building capacity is also super important. Having those SMART goals, making sure our schedules are indicative of what's important to us. Holding data meetings and working as a team. Some things that people have said about me. Even when I'm very critical of myself, she makes suggestions in a way that I feel she's part of my team and not just finding fault. This wing has the most respectful atmosphere that we have had for years. Dr. Thrush really placed an emphasis on culture and attitudes towards each other. We all know students come first with Jen. All she does is drive us forward to do what's best for our students. I feel very supported and valued as a professional. I'm encouraged to hone my craft as an educator. Dr. Thrush is a great leader. She gives us direction, and I know what she expects of me. She also gives us some freedom because she trusts us to do what's best for kids. Jen understands that teaching is just like learning and should never be mastered. It should always be growing and changing. She makes me feel like it's okay to make mistakes on something new, because it is. I say fail forward. Switching gears to data, I struggled a little bit with this question because as an administrator and an educator, my school data is not going to give me the information for me to give you any input about a strategy that I would suggest. There is a lot of looking and listening and learning and delving into that data before any of that could ever occur. Some things that I've noticed, I'll just go there. This is your data, the ELA on the M step, and then I did look at your AER, and that's the NWEA right there on the right. So some noticings. There's an upward trend since COVID. Yay. Higher than state average and similar schools by 15 to 20% is amazing. Kudos to you all. Cohort increased from 3rd to 4th grade, and NWA scores higher than the M step. So NWEA were able to really get real-time data and make adjustments to things that we're seeing. They have the skills checklists and things like that or screeners that you can take, put kids in groups, all of those kind of things. The M-STEP doesn't give us that information, and you sitting on a team for this interview team, it's nothing that you don't know either, but data triangulation for school improvement strategies. We've got the state that gives us one snapshot, that local NWEA 3 times a year, growth goals, that continuum, learning continuum. And then the classroom data, grade level, common assessments, formative, summative, project-based learnings, and that tier 1 through 3 structure that you have in place are all those snapshots over time, and all of that builds a picture. For this, also, you'll look at the circled place there, a cohort of kiddos going through. So 3rd grade in 21-22 at 57%. As 4th graders, they were 59, and 23-24 as 5th graders, they were 55%. So they were pretty, I don't know, they were kind of stagnant as far as growth over time, but you want to look at grade level over time. You also want to look at cohort bands from 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade based on the ability level of that group of kiddos. One of the things with the dip of the 22-23 that I see here, the assumption would be that they, as 1st and 2nd graders, they missed a lot of foundational phonics learning instruction to help them in this ELA component. And then the 5th grade has a dip as well, and my assumption would, most fifth grades are taking a dip. There's just a significant difference in a third and fourth grade M-STEP versus the fifth grade M-STEP. That third grade is foundational skills. Fourth grade gets into basic narrative, opinions, I can talk about myself, right? Character and plot development, author's purpose, all of that stuff. But in fifth grade, you're analyzing that complex text. It's more in depth. There's textual evidence. There's multiple sources. There's critical thinking and precise vocabulary. Same with your mathematics data. This is a little bit higher in scores. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe your STEM initiatives have been the driving force of that. Same stuff, upward trend since COVID, higher than the state average by 15-20% in similar schools. Cohort increases, third and fourth grade. NWA scores, again, are higher than the M-STEP. And then math scores, as I said, are higher than an ELA. That dip, again, could possibly be that first and second grade skills loss of learning there to make an impact. Same stuff as far as the data triangulation. The math M-STEP, those foundational skills again in third grade. Fourth grade, you're adding that multiplication division in the introduction of fractions and decimals with that comparing and contrasting. But once you get to fifth grade, again, significant difference. Real world application, deeper knowledge, deeper data analysis, some equations, some interpretation of lines, those kinds of things. So improvement strategies, well, I mean, it's always the people, not the programs. You always want research-based, solid tier 1 instruction. That's explicit instruction, it's modeling, it's gradual release, and MTSS A and B, that systems of support for academics and behavior, a school-wide positive behavior systems, your professional learning communities, your professional learning plan, job-embedded PD is the best PD, that coaching that we do, comprehensive needs assessments and school improvement plans, strategic plans, program evaluation data, and data-driven decisions based on all of the things. What are some of those things over time? I just listed, a few. They're not the best. They're not the only. They're just some. The Gelln Literacy and Math Essentials, again, research-based strategies, proven results. That solid tier 1, 2, and 3 instruction, that WIN MTSS time, WIN is in what I need now, with targeted interventions and progress monitoring for 4 to 6 weeks, holding those data meetings, and then regrouping those kids as necessary as they grow. Hands-on manipulatives. That's Orton Gillingham. You're drawing in the sand, or you're moving and manipulating letters. It could be math manipulatives. You're building things. Your online programs, MobiMax, IXL, Star, whatever it is that you use for your online. Are you using that data and getting information and doing something with it? Of course, the SEL program, kids got to feel good to do good. And then the restorative practices. Champion for change. Some things that have caused a little bit of stakeholder negativity of one way or another have been like teacher learning labs or teachers learning together, instructional round type stuff as far as the teachers go. We opened up a Husky Pup Learning Center child care tuition paid preschool program at Breckenridge. We opened up an outdoor learning playground at Breckenridge, and then we had the bond proposal, which was a lot of things in the elementary building for new construction. So with any change initiative, right, you gotta explain the who, what, why, and how. You need to show people and walk them through those pieces. And as always, any change goes through the change of forming, storming, norming before you can perform. Again, why I think I'm the ideal candidate for Siebert Elementary is meeting all of the qualifications and having 10 years of administrative experience and 15 years of teaching experience to help lead the way. I would, well, first of all, thank you for listening to this video, and I hope that I get the opportunity for an in-person interview to showcase my experiences, and it would be an honor to be the next Siebert Elementary principal lead learner. Have a good night or afternoon. Bye-bye.